Former President Donald Trump has thrust the US-Mexico border back into the national spotlight. He claims the border is in crisis. Trump points to rising numbers of migrants. He highlights the flow of drugs, particularly fentanyl. His solution? Invoking the Insurrection Act. Trump argues that traditional law enforcement is failing. He says the federal government is not doing enough. He believes the military is the only answer. This has put him at odds with many in Washington. Trump's supporters echo his concerns. They see chaos at the border. They fear for the safety of Americans. They believe Trump is taking a necessary, if drastic, step. Critics, however, are sounding the alarm. They see this as a dangerous power grab. They worry about the militarization of the border. They question the legality of using the Insurrection Act in this way. The nation holds its breath as a potential constitutional showdown looms. The Insurrection Act is a powerful tool in the president's arsenal. It allows the deployment of military forces within the United States. This power is not unlimited. It is meant for specific situations like civil unrest or insurrection. The act has a long and controversial history. One notable use was during the Los Angeles riots in 1992. President George H.W. Bush invoked the act to restore order. The act has also been used during natural disasters. However, using it for border control would be unprecedented. This is why legal experts are divided on its constitutionality in this context. Some argue that the situation at the border meets the act's requirements. Others say it is a clear overreach of executive power. The debate is likely to end up in court. The stakes are high. A ruling in Trump's favor would expand presidential power significantly. It would set a dangerous precedent for future presidents. The outcome could reshape the balance of power in Washington for years to come. Trump's suggestion has sent shockwaves through Washington. Reactions have fallen along partisan lines. Republicans largely support the move. They see it as a strong response to a real threat. Democrats are condemning it as an abuse of power. They fear it will lead to further militarization of the border. The legal battle is just beginning. Lawsuits are expected to be filed challenging the act's use. These lawsuits will likely argue that the situation at the border does not meet the act's criteria. They will also likely challenge the president's authority to use the military for domestic law enforcement. The courts will ultimately decide the legality of Trump's actions. However, the political fallout will be significant regardless of the outcome. The debate is already deepening divisions in an already polarized nation. This could have long-term consequences for American democracy. The world is watching to see how this unfolds. The outcome will have implications far beyond the U.S. border. The potential deployment of troops to the border raises serious concerns. Critics argue that it would escalate an already tense situation. They fear that it could lead to violence between migrants and soldiers. The presence of troops could also have a chilling effect on border communities. Residents might feel like they are living in a militarized zone. This could lead to a breakdown of trust between communities and law enforcement. The economic impact is another major concern. The deployment of troops would be costly. This would divert resources from other important programs. It could also harm businesses that rely on cross-border trade. The potential consequences of Trump's actions are far-reaching. They demand careful consideration. The nation must weigh the potential benefits against the risks. The decision could have a lasting impact on the border, the country, and the world.